So if you're applying to Oxford or Cambridge, or to be for medicine, veterinary science or dentistry, you need to apply by mid-October, which means you need to have got the whole thing wrapped up by the very beginning of October. For all other courses, you can apply by mid-January, but actually you'd be mad to leave it that late, because some universities still work to some extent on a first come, first serve basis, and therefore it's better to have applied by October. So you need to get on with it. You shouldn't worry too much about the location of the university, because these days, students come and go, unless you're planning to live at home, when obviously the location will be relevant. But on the whole, there's absolutely no reason why you should worry too much about the location of the university. You have to fill in a personal statement, and that's especially important if you're applying for a degree subject which you don't study at A-level, like social anthropology or architecture or medicine, where you need to use the personal statement to provide evidence that you are interested in that subject. Many of you will have wanted to do work experience also to demonstrate that interest, and the work experience will be described in your personal statement. The thing to avoid in a personal statement is hackneyed phrases like, since the day I was born, I've always wanted to be a social anthropologist. It's ridiculous. The other thing about personal statements is that it really should be your own words. Everyone you ask will have an opinion about what your personal statement should look like, but quite frankly, there's no substitute for you just giving it your best shot, and you should spend three quarters of the space available for your statement on why you're interested in the subject that you're applying to read. You should go to open days at universities if you possibly can. It's not essential, but it's quite desirable. Many of you will be required to do a pre-test. If you are applying for medicine, for example, you will need to do a test like the BMAT or one of the alternatives. And for those pre-tests, you do need to have practice and some training. You need to do the practice papers, which are available on the internet, and ideally a bit of training and assistance from your school. And the same is true of interviews. If you're likely to be interviewed for your course, then you do need to have a practice interview, because everybody finds that they're making silly mistakes which are easily avoided, but you'll only find that out if someone interviews you and gives you a practice. And finally, you should not be put off going to university by the fact that you've got to borrow money. You'll see all the details of that on the Student Loans Company website. And the reason you should not be put off is because the system means that you only repay your loan if you are earning quite a good salary. If you don't earn a good salary, you will never have to repay your loan. And when you're age 50, the loan is written off anyway. So it's quite cheap money. Most graduates earn more than non-graduates, and therefore the loan was justified and should not be, therefore, a reason for not applying to university. These days, most people leaving school apply to university. These days, most are very pleased they did. It's one of the most interesting 3 or 4 years of their lives, but you have to make sure you do it in the best possible way to maximise the benefits of going to university.